Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is super warm here in Belgium, which is nice, and I thought it's the perfect time to do a summer book recommendations video. So here we go. One thing that I do want to say before I get started is there are some books in this list that I liked but that I didn't love. But I do want to mention these books anyway because, you know, we all have a different opinion about books, and who knows, maybe you will absolutely love them. So here we go. Okay, so the first book is To Kill a Mockingbird. This is such a popular novel. I read it last year, and this is set in the humid and warm climate of Alabama. It is about a man who gets convicted for a crime, and there is a lawyer defending him, and we kind of follow along with the kids of this lawyer. The second book that I want to recommend is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is set in the roaring 1920s, and it is set during a summer period. It delves into themes of love, wealth, and the American dream. The next one that I want to recommend is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I'm holding this huge box set for a reason. I don't have a special copy of Pride and Prejudice. I only have these collected works by Jane Austen, and my copy of Pride and Prejudice is in here. Summer romance, it is a perfect combination. So in Pride and Prejudice, we follow along a bunch of sisters who fall in love. It is set in a 19th century England. The next one that I want to recommend, I haven't actually read, but it gets recommended as the perfect summer read, and that is A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. I do have a box set to hold up, but I don't have like the separate copy. I still need to get started on Shakespeare. I am actually in the middle of Othello. Don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm in the middle of it and I am loving it. So I'm excited to read more. And by the way, look at this beautiful box set. I am so in love with it. But A Midsummer Night's Dream, it is set in a mystical forest, and it weaves together stories of love, mistaken identities, and mischievous fairies during a midsummer. That sounds really perfect for the weather. So yeah. The next one I have read and loved was The Secret Garden. This is actually a children's story, but it didn't really feel like a children's story. The writing is very beautiful, and what I love most about this novel is the love for nature. Like, the descriptions are so beautiful, so beautiful. So yeah, I highly recommend it. We follow Mary Lennox. She forms a friendship, and she also explores the beauty of nature. The next one I have is Don Quixote. I hope I'm pronouncing it okay. This is a Spanish novel. It is set in Spain. I actually did a review on my channel about this one, so if you're interested, go check it out. It is non-spoiler. It's spoiler free. We follow a very eccentric gentleman, and he goes on all of these quests believing he is a knight errant. This is a great book and very funny. The next one I have is City of Brass. This is about a young woman trying to find who she is. She discovers a hidden world with mythical creatures, and it is all set in this very Middle Eastern world. This is a trilogy, and the books are quite big. So if you're into epic fantasy, high fantasy, then I highly recommend these to read in the summer. The next one I have is Godmersham Park, and look at this beautiful cover. It is perfect and it screams spring and summer. If you love Jane Austen vibes, then I highly recommend this one. It is a relaxing, easy read. It is very accessible, more accessible than reading Jane Austen. So if you're not really into this older writing style, then this would be a perfect second option. Here in this novel, we follow a governess who stays at the Austen family, and there she meets all the family members, and she needs to educate a child named Fanny Price. The next one I have and that I absolutely love is Candide by Voltaire. And I actually read this novel last year. Well, it's not really a novel, it's super thin, so it's more like a novella, or I don't even know if it's a play. I don't think it's a play. It's just a very short story. And look at this cover, it is so summery and so beautiful. I have such good memories of this little book, and I remember that it was very warm and that I was sitting with this book, enjoying it so much, taking notes, and every time that I think about the story, I have to think about that summer and the time period and everything. So maybe that's why I kind of feel like this is a summer book. But oh my gosh, it is a quick read, it is a fun read. I highly recommend. It is about a young man who is always optimistic and has learned from his tutor that he always needs to look at things in a positive way. And then of course all kinds of bad things happen and he goes on an adventure, and it is very fun to read. The last recommendation that I have is Oscar Wilde. You can read anything by him. He has poetry, he has short stories, he has The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is an amazing novel, and I think that this author is really great to read during the summer period. I don't know why, it's just the feeling. I have read many of his short stories. I've also read The Picture of Dorian Gray. You can find a review on my channel, by the way. And this is a book with his collected works, and I'm excited to read the things that I haven't read yet, and also some of his poetry. That sounds really interesting. There, those were all of my recommendations. I hope it was useful and interesting, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my content. I will see you next week.